This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Stick around to the end to find out a little bit more. Ranking of Kings is the perfect example of don't judge a book by its cover. You may have been just like me and saw this new show that was suddenly rising up the lists of Mao and looked at the cover art and thought, what the hell is this? And then you do the same as everyone else and just ignore it. Then week after week, you hear more and more about this show, and now it's the number 39 highest rated show on my anime list. And yes, some of this is due to frequency bias, but you decide to give the show a chance, and then your life is changed. As I'm sure you can tell with the title, this show isn't just good, it's great. Ranking of Kings may be my favourite anime from the last few years. I was more excited for this show each week than Attack on Titan, and I've never thought that would happen when I first started it. This show is both simple and complex at once, with some of the best characters and world building that I've seen for some time. The synopsis of this show really does not do justice to what the series is about, but if Osama Rankin is new to you, then let me just run through it real quick. Rankin of Kings tells the story of Bojji, a courageous young prince who must overcome a world that fails to see his worth because of preconceived notions about his deafness and lack of physical prowess. The world in question consists of a number of kingdoms which subscribe to a Metacritic-like ranking system. Each kingdom's rank is determined by how prosperous the nation is, the strength of its armies, and how badass their king is. As one may imagine, Bojji is viewed as a liability to the kingdom's standing due to his physical limitations. However, the series' themes focus on overcoming prejudice and the challenges that we all face as individuals. It's a story that promises humour, exciting fantasy action, friendship, and heroic quests. But when you have a main character that can't speak, it forces the story to be shown rather than told, which entrusts the audience with the evolution of the plot. Things move quickly, but you follow along easily because you feel like you've been placed within the story that is happening right in front of you. No second is wasted, with this show leaving out any long expositions or cardboard cutout side characters that are basically just cheerleaders for the main protagonist. I love this show, and if someone touches a hair on this boy's head, I will kill them and then myself shortly afterwards. Because this show does a brilliant job of allowing us to see the pure loneliness and isolation that Bojji feels. It's heart-wrenching to see the moments when he's alone and that mask of his brave face is removed. Bojji is not the headfast, confident main character that we're used to. Yes, his biggest strength is that he never gives up, but he's very much aware, at least in the beginning of the series, that no one actually believes in him. We get to see the different masks Bojji wears in front of his kingdom and while he's alone. The show is also amazing at showing the grey area when it comes to the morals and intentions of all the characters. You never really know the real reasons why a character is making a certain action when they are first introduced. Are they a villain? Or will they be lending a hand to Bojji on his quest? And this mirrors the way people are in real life. Most people don't fit on a black and white scale as pure good or evil. People are complex, and their actions don't always align with their intentions. I actually marvel at how many times while watching this show, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this character, only to backtrack after some more context and be like, you know what? You're alright. Ranking of Kings does this perfectly with the introduction of Hiling, the queen of the kingdom of Boss. At first, she is the perfect portrayal of the evil stepmother stereotype, and I couldn't wait for her to be killed off. But as we move through the story and see further details, background information, and chances for her to really show her love for her children, we understand that there's a lot more to Hiling than meets the eye. Now that the series has ended, she's not just one of my favourite characters, but she's a straight up badass. I want her to be my stepmom. And no, not like that. I hate backstory episodes in most shows. I'm tired of a show forcing me to empathise with a character I either don't like or will probably be killed off in the following episode. But here, in Ranking of Kings, every time we learn more about each side character only fleshes out their personality and makes you understand more about why they do what they do. Over time, you learn to like and root for every character, no matter which side of the battle they stand upon. Well, except Miranjo. The story may be simple, but there's a lot of background information that is kept away from the audience until it is necessary. Surprisingly, Ranking of Kings also has a fair amount of action, though the first episode of the show might cause viewers to think the opposite. Even if Bojji doesn't get into many fights, he's not the only character an episode will focus on. But while these action-orientated moments are animated beautifully, they never feel like the core of the show. That lies in the real emotional moments. It's clear that the fights and action sequences are a way to keep the story moving and viewers interested, where the character moments and conversations are the real focus. For example, during one moment, Prince Daida is told to drink an elixir to gain immense power, and by all accounts, he seems like the character to do so. However, he doesn't, and instead has to fight off people trying to force feed it to him. This fight is animated beautifully, but most viewers will be far more enamored with the character's actions, and how they show he is actually much more deeper than they first assumed. Speaking of the prince, this show's cast of young characters deserves some discussion. The main character for this show is a literal child, one who sadly can't even speak. Prince Bojji is a child, Kage is meant to be a child, Prince Daida is a child, yet all of them are fantastic in terms of their decision making and overall writing. So often in anime, and other types of media as well, child characters are plagued with being poorly written and the worst parts of their respective series. More often than not, they're the ones making the awful decisions that leads to characters getting killed way too early, getting horribly maimed, or just put in a bad position in general. But in Rankin & Kings, the child characters are a delight and most times are making more intelligent decisions than even the adults. And funnily enough, as the show goes on, more of the adult characters are becoming more childlike as well, such as Domas or even Miranjo. What originally made me wary of the show is now one of the things that makes me love this show so much: the simplicity of the animation and art style. From a studio that brought us Vinland Saga and 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, this is a nice change, and although the animation is simple, it's still very solid and very smooth. The backgrounds have depth, showcasing beautiful landscapes, and the fight scenes do a great job of showing the weight involved with the movement of the characters. The world feels realised and full, where the simplicity actually allows us to fall into that world with ease. The influences are clear, captured a sort of classic anime aesthetic with the style emulating the likes of Studio Ghibli. Rankin & Kings puts an absurd amount of work and importance into the smaller moments, both in terms of animation and continuity. These moments range from painstaking animation work behind a simple spin of a weapon, or even just the variety of muscle movements the character's face makes as their eyes well up with tears. One of the best examples is the ongoing pattern in which if a character is talking to Bojji but is not looking directly at him, Kage translates or Bojji looks confused. This applies to Miranjo talking to him from inside the mirror, the Order of the Underworld Captain with his mouth obscured, or just any character talking to him with his back turned. It's such a minor factor, but it's the constant stacking of these little factors that add up to the viewer's experience overall. The setting of Rankin & Kings is another thing the show does effortlessly, with the world building akin to a storybook or video game. Magic exists, animals talk, demons are ever present, and apparently the world used to be ruled by gods themselves. Anything can happen in Rankin & Kings, yet nothing breaks the viewer's suspension of belief. The show gives just enough explanation to make it seem like anything is possible in this world. For example, although Queen Hiling can heal almost any injury, it takes a lot out of her, and it doesn't restore something that was lost, such as an eye or a leg. In any similar setting that attempts this children book atmosphere, this sort of healing magic would just be left unexplained, would be way too OP or overpowerful. But that just isn't the case here. On top of this, Rankin & Kings can be quite brutal at times as well, with a lot of dark and violent moments that intentionally contrast with its art style. For generations, fairy tales have played a big role in the lives of everyone. Stories about noble princes thwarting wicked queens, princesses frightening off dragons, and even kings finding the unlikeliest of loves that have influenced our imaginations and viewpoints in life. They're not just fictional stories to most people, they're metaphors for the struggles we face in our daily lives. It's this aspect that has made an anime like Rankin & Kings stand out at what could be a surefire classic of a fairy tale. And in a lot of cases, it even subverts a lot of these tropes and allows it to stand up above the rest. So, should you watch this subbed or dubbed? As most things, I would recommend watching this subbed, as the voice actor for Bojji does a great job of showing emotional range with the short grunts that the characters can say. However, if you're really not a fan of subtitles, then the English dub of Rankin & Kings is great as well. Well, at least as long as you ignore the fact that Kage's mother has a voice so deep she could be confused for a trucker in Kentucky. Rankin & Kings is a special kind of anime. It takes the fairy tale elements we've all come to know and adds something new and refreshing to the formula. How it showcases its disabled protagonist is one of the most uplifting things you'll see in any form of entertainment. It doesn't pander to the audience with some able-bodied hero coming in to protect him. It makes him the hero that deserves to be the ruler of them all. Bojji and the rest of his Rankin & Kings comrades are worthy of any throne, as it brings forth one of the best anime adventures made in the last couple of years. So, will you be checking out Rankin & Kings? Let me know down in the comment, and if you have watched it already, let me know your thoughts. Thanks again to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. If you don't know what they are, Tokyo Treat is a monthly Japanese subscription box full of popular Japanese candy and snacks, such as exclusive Japanese Kit Kats, ramen, and many more. You also have Sakura Co, which is a monthly Japanese subscription box as well, but full of authentic traditional Japanese snacks from Japan's local artisan snack makers. Both are delivered straight from Japan, straight to your door. Tokyo Treats and Sakura boxes come with a different theme every month, keeping things exciting and fresh. They want to share Japanese culture to the world through the medium of snacking. I was lucky enough to receive a box of each for this month with their special themes. Tokyo Treat had the theme of Sakura Picnic, which was an exclusive Sakura themed box for this month only. They had exclusive and seasonal Japanese snacks this month, such as Pineapple Sakura Candy, Strawberry and Red Bean Loaf, and Kit Kat Banana Caramel as well. Both the Pineapple Sakura Candy and the Loaf are exclusive Tokyo Treat subscribers. You can't get them anywhere else. And then the Sakurako theme was matcha and mochi. So they have Sakura Sencha tea exclusively made for Sakurako, and a lot of matcha themed snacks as well. My particular favourite was this matcha cream daifuku. Really nice, really creamy in the middle, absolutely lovely. So if you want to enjoy popular Japanese snacks, you can go ahead and try the Tokyo Treat box. But if you want traditional Japanese snacks, you can go ahead and enjoy the Sakurako box instead. If you don't know what's in the box and you're afraid of that, don't worry. There's a lovely booklet that comes inside explaining all the snacks available in the box. All you have to do is go and click the link down below. Again, just use code ANIME04 right in the link in the description and you'll get $5 off on your first purchase. Thanks again for sponsoring the video. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you everyone watching for all your support as well. I'll see you in the next video. This has been Anime Every Day.